It's game day, baby, as Auburn kicks off the Sweet 16 tonight versus the Michigan Wolverines.
In a world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie 5.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie 5, and we are ready to get after it. Dadgummit, it's game day. It's finally here as Auburn gets ready to tip off to kick off the Sweet 16 versus the Michigan Wolverines, and it's another great day. It's Friendship Friday, version 2.0. I got my man, self-titled Jared Ogle, here. He's one of our day one subscribers, ready to break down everything that has to do with the Sweet 16, the matchup, the keys to victory, maybe even some game day traditions and things like that. But before we do that, we got to have a quick shout out to Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. Go to unclekeithsredsauce.com. Use coupon code TheBarn25 to take 25% off your order. If you live in the state of Alabama and you live close to a Publix, you can get it there. If you live in the Birmingham area, any Piggly Wiggly there, you can get it as well. If you don't live close to either of those, go online, save big, buy in bulk. If you love salsa with a Southern kick, this is your go-to here, and you'll support an Auburn family at the same time. So show them some love. Uncle Keith's Red Sauce is good, y'all. Jared, my man, so fired up to get this thing going. Number 2, Friendship Friday. You were one of the first that jumped in and said, I'm in. Fired up to have you, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a podcast with Auburn. I've had a podcast of my own before.
Yeah.
Not an Auburn podcast. So I've been told I ramble. So if I ramble, just stop me.
I got you. Well, I'm the king. I ramble 20 minutes every morning. So we should be a very good team. Jared, what's your tie to Auburn, man? How long have you been an Auburn fan? Hit me with some game day traditions. Are you superstitious? It's game day, man. You probably got a routine you got to go through. If a lot of people have routines they got to go through. Tell me about yours.
Yep. So first thing is my 11-year-old son. He's a big Auburn fan because of me. And I apologize to him every day. Look, I was like, man, I'm sorry. I did not mean to get you on this roller coaster, but
emotional roller coaster.
Yep. But we have to watch together, and that's an always thing. I'm like,
awesome.
We have to watch the games together, and I always tell them if you're not there, I'm not there. I feel like if we lose, it's our fault.
Yeah.
But I've been an Auburn fan. It's actually a funny story, and everybody makes fun of me. I've been an Auburn fan since I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
And the reason I was my parents are both Alabama fans. So when I grew up, I was quote unquote an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
And 4th grade, there was this girl I had a crush on. She was a big Auburn fan.
Undefeated.
So at that point, I started becoming an Auburn fan. But then I realized, hey, I was meant to be an Auburn fan anyway. Now that I'm older, I was like, there's no way I can see myself as an Alabama fan. So
I love it. I love it. So the most important question is, are you guys going to be able to watch the game together tonight?
We are. Yep.
Okay. Check that off the box.
Yeah, it is spring break for us this week. But it's a Friday night game. But yes, we will be able to watch it together. He'll be here. So
how does he get into it? Does he get into it pretty hardcore?
Yes. He gets super upset when we lose. He's, and I used to as well. And I told him, I was like, look, I was just like you, 4 or 5 years ago when I was in my mid 30s, I used to get super upset, but I can't do that anymore. I'm older now. I don't want to get my blood, but he gets really upset. He doesn't quite understand yet that the roller coaster that is Auburn. I said, trust me, good days are coming with football. He's a big football fan too. I said, they're coming.
Yeah.
But he's enjoying the basketball ride. So he just started playing basketball because of Auburn basketball. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. Because he never played, but he watched. But he said, you know what? I want to start playing basketball. So
that's sick. Who's his favorite player?
Local community center now. Yep. On the team. So he's the Boston Celtics.
Love
that's
it.
That's his team they're on.
My son was the Cavs his first year. So who's his favorite player?
So his favorite player now is Pettiford. So because he kind of thinks he reminds himself, because he's a little guy, he's a little undersized.
There you go.
He's super quick. He's super pesky on defense, and I was like, that's a really good comparison. Actually, he was a little more observant on that than I was. So
I love it. Tahad's an easy one to He's an easy one to gravitate to. He's just kind of got that
100%.
electric.
Especially after the last game, I said he really, really was like, yeah, that's my favorite player for sure.
100%. So Auburn, the line opened at like 9.5, Auburn versus Michigan, and it started to kind of move towards Michigan, and now it's moving back towards Auburn. And it seems like, from the media standpoint, it seems like, I think maybe even on the Auburn side, the confidence seems to be at an I don't want to say all-time high, but it's very high going into this game. Sometimes that can be nightmare fuel.
Yep.
But what do you take away from that? What are you thinking about? I guess the positive vibes going into this game.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm actually super confident, and I'm never confident. You can ask my family. Every game, I'm like, we're going to lose. Something's going to happen. So I'm actually
PTSD.
really, yeah, I'm super confident in this game. And I tell people with this game is the only thing I'm worried about are the two bigs inside. If we eliminate the offensive rebounds, the second chance points, I think we actually run away with this game. I think that's the only way they're going to be able to stay in this game with us.
I noticed one of the statistics that jumped out, and it was in a conversation today, is that Michigan is very, very low as far as turnovers go. When I say low, I'm talking about towards the bottom of the country in turnovers. They turn the ball over a ton. And Auburn forces a lot of turnovers. So that is I think that's going to play key into this matchup. And then what you mentioned about the bigs could not be more dead on. Guarding without fouling. Yep. I'm concerned about that. To me, Auburn may be dictated more by the way a game's called than maybe anybody, as far as the way they play defense and the way the game goes. Guys got to guard without fouling is something that's going to be key. They've done a really good job so far of being able to tighten the screws on defense. What do you see there? How are you feeling on our bigs, on their bigs?
Well, I will say I'm still a little concerned about Johni Broome. The last couple games, he just has not looked like the force he has been in the regular season.
I agree.
But I think after last game, after seeing everyone else step up, I think it's going to be kind of a wake-up call for him. And now, now everyone's saying, oh, Cooper Flagg is going to run away with Player of the Year. And I think that hopefully, if he's any kind of competitor, that's going to, a lot of little fuel under him as well. Like I said, I'm not concerned with his defense. Honestly, I'm more concerned with his offensive game. I feel like it's just kind of taking a back seat lately. Now, I did, I have heard that the plan against Creighton was to win with our guards, not our bigs. I don't know how true that is, but it did look like it with the way Pettiford created his own shot and CBM, the way he attacked the basket. I'm assuming, that was true.
I've been hearing the term drop coverage. I've been hearing the term drop coverage a lot. And I guess that's where obviously you drop back to neutralize the bigs, but it leaves that little gap open right around the top of the key. And that's where those floaters were just so nasty against Creighton. Creighton just had no answer for them whatsoever. No, I'm with you. I want to throw something out at you. It's a take I've had and get your thoughts on it. Yep. So the voting is actually over for Player of the Year. It ended on Monday, but I think that's a good thing. I think I think honestly, this Player of the Year talk and the Player of the Year stuff, I think it's gotten in Johni's head. I really do. I think it put added pressure on him to where he felt like he had to go out and score 20, 25 a game, or he was going to lose the lead to Cooper Flagg or lose the award to Cooper Flagg. I think there's got to be a little bit of a freeing feeling to just there's nothing I can or can't do. There's nothing I can do good. There's nothing I can do bad now. It's over. So I will find out who wins next week, but I just go play basketball now.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. And I think too, I shouldn't need motivation, but this is the best team I think Auburn's ever had basketball wise. And to be the first team to win a national championship in basketball, that would be more important to me than any Player of the Year award, of course. And I know he knows that as well. For sure. But I do think, I think you're right. I do think it's going to take some pressure off, hopefully, because like you said, the last 3 or 4 games of the season, it started to show a little bit, and it really showed. The last 2 games, even Alabama State and Creighton, he just didn't look right. like he was forcing things. He was definitely forcing a lot of things, like
Short a
taking
lot,
three-pointers.
too.
I mean, taking 3-pointers on, shorten the shot clock. I'm like, what are we doing? You're 0 for 7 in the tournament. Just stop. Just stop doing it.
He's actually 0 for his last 9 from
0 for
3.
9.
So
Sorry.
if we can, I mean, he may be 0 for 7 in the tournament, but he's missed his last 9 3-pointers. He has not made one since that game tying one at Alabama. So I'm with you. Like, hey, let's get him. Here's another thing, Jared. Let me see what you think about this. I don't like Johni getting the ball so far away from the basket. I don't like the isolation, back him down, have to dribble it 7 or 8 times, and then pivot 5 or 6 times before you get a look. He's good at it. But man, I want to see some cutting, some all the stuff that we do to kind of motion to get him open and get him some bunnies, get him some point blank looks. Am I crazy there?
No, 100%. And I think that's why Dylan Cardwell has been so great lately. I think they're doing that for him. I mean, obviously most of his points are, either offensive rebound putbacks or, alley-oops or layups. But I do think he's taking advantage of that by getting the ball, not, on top of the key or, 17, 18 feet away from the basket. He's getting down. He's like, give it to me right here. I'm going to turn around and lay this ball up. Nobody's going to stop me.
Unless he does.
Broome used to do. I mean, that's what Broome used to do. Nobody's going to stop me. I'm going to be 4 feet from the basket. It's going in.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're right. I do think he's getting the ball a lot at the top of the key. I think he's getting the ball at 3-point line. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the logic behind that is.
I'm sure they know more basketball than
exactly, and that's why I never say anything negative. That, but I'm like, I don't know the issue. I mean, or the reason. But there's got to be a reason. I mean, obviously, Bruce Pearl knows more basketball than I'll ever know. But Stephen Pearl too. Those two know more than I'll ever know. So it's not like I'm going to question what they're doing. But I do think it's a little odd that, like you said, he's been getting the ball on the perimeter for some reason a lot more lately. I don't know if it's just, hey, we got to get Johni Broome a touch because he's our best player. Or,
there's probably some of that.
Yeah, or he's not where he should be. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is with that there.
Just got to get him closer. Let's just get him closer.
Exactly, 100%.
You mentioned
nobody's going to stop him under the goal. I mean, they're not.
No.
It doesn't matter who it is. There's nobody in the country right now that can stop Johni Broome. If he's 5-6 feet with it, he's going to make the shot or lay up, whatever it is, hook shot. Nobody's going to stop him.
I agree with you. You mentioned Dylan Cardwell, and I want to talk about him in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to mybookie.ag. Use coupon code BARN for a 50% deposit bonus. Whatever you deposit, they're going to give you 50% of that back in free play. So you can hit up the sports book, bet any athletic event you can think of, they got it. Any line you can think of, they got it. Easy deposits, easy withdrawal. Check them out. It's mybookie.ag. You mentioned Dylan Cardwell. I think if Auburn continues and goes on the run we think they can, Dylan Cardwell may be, I think, need to be looked at as maybe the most important person of this whole playoff run. It seems like after the Alabama State game, a lot of the comments that he said to the media, and then just sort of all of the come to Jesus meetings that seem like were Dylan Cardwell led to a complete change in attitude, in effort, in everything from game 1 to game 2. Jared, that stretch in the second half where they held Creighton scoreless for 6 minutes, maybe one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. I think, honestly, if Auburn goes all the way or if Auburn goes to the Final Four, whatever, I think you got to point to Dylan Cardwell as one of the big reasons as to why that happened.
100%. I love Stephen Pearl's interview where he said, not only is Cardwell a leader, but everybody's scared of him.
Really?
He's so big. I don't know if you heard that. He said everybody's scared of him. He's such a big guy. He's so intimidating. He acts like he's big. He's goofy out there on the court. I love it. But they said during that meeting, people were scared of him.
He seems like a big teddy bear, but I bet he clearly he can flip a switch and put the pressure on the guys, and it worked because they definitely turned around.
But he talked the talk and he walked the walk because we're going to have a meeting, but I'm also going to go out there and show you how it's done.
Exactly.
And he had I think his best game in an Auburn uniform.
Yeah, he's had some incredible defensive plays, big offensive rebounds. I mean, it's not like he's going to go put up 15 to 20 points, but he's going to give you 6 to 8, and they're going to be electric.
Yep, and everything else goes along with it.
Yep. So if you had to pick one thing, you said if Auburn does this, if Auburn does this, they win the game tonight, what would it be?
I think the one thing they have to do is still what they've done all year is not turn the ball over. Like you said at the beginning, I have a crazy stat actually. Michigan, in terms of unforced turnovers, as in their own mistakes, they're 343rd in the country.
Yep, terrible.
So they force their own turnovers.
Yeah.
But as long as we stay on our average, which we're actually second in the country in enforced turnovers, so we have the second best percentage-wise of unforced turnovers in the country. So as long as we do that, and like I said, and we limit the offensive rebounds by the two bigs,
yeah,
and don't give them second chances, I think we're going to run away with the game. Honestly,
I'm with you.
But those two things I think are the biggest things we need. And our perimeter defense needs to keep doing what it's doing. I mean, we have some of the best perimeter defenders in the country out there right now. And
they're not a great 3-point shooting team.
Right.
So just lock them down. Don't let them deny. Don't let them get those balls inside. My thing is always 3-point shooting. We got to shoot threes to win this game. And I think you got to shoot well over 30%. And if Auburn does that, which they've done the vast majority of the year, shooting close to 40% as a team, I just think Auburn's just a little bit too athletic at the guard position for Michigan. I just think we're gonna out athlete them at guard on defense and on offense. And it should be fun as long as we can defend without fouling inside and not get the bigs into foul trouble. Should be a lot of fun. Am I way off there?
No, you're not. I do think, like I said, and I think that was kind of the game plan with Creighton was we knew we were better than the guards and perimeter, so let's beat them out there. We don't even have to go through Johni. I mean,
exactly.
I think we were that good on our perimeter where I think that's kind of the same game plan. I mean, and I think Trey Donaldson, the familiarity with defending him, I think is going to help as well.
I think he's going to be too tight.
Yeah,
he's going to want to score like 30.
100%. And I think a lot of the guys on our staff know, hey, this is how you guard this guy because we've seen it. So
exactly,
I think that's going to be a plus in our advantage as well because a lot of these players that he played with last year aren't on the team really. So it's not like it's all same teammates where he can say, oh, I know how this guy does. Well,
he may have some system type stuff down, but as far as like tendencies of players, I would imagine that might be kind of tough. Let's switch some gears. Let's talk football. And the biggest news out of the past couple of days is no more A-Day. A-Day is done as we know it. I don't know how big of if you were an A-Day guy. I don't know if you were a big spring football guy.
Yep.
I want to get your thoughts on the way college football is moving, and then Auburn kind of following along suit. No A-Day anymore.
Yeah, and to me, it's kind of sad, honestly, because I think A-Day was more for the fans. I don't think it really mattered much to the players or the coaches. I mean, they do scrimmages all practice. It's not like it's a surprise to them if anything happens in the A-Day game.
Yeah.
But I think it was more for the fans. And I took my kids every year, my kid, but we have a 15-month-old now, and I was going to bring him this year, but clear list. But, I mean, the practice, of course. But the actual A-Day game, my son loved it, because, there wasn't a ton of people.
Low pressure for kids, man.
Right, exactly. It was super easy just to go, just to show them, hey, this is a new guy, just stuff like that. But honestly, I think it's sad that's where we are now with NIL and portal. It's just where we live in now is, hey, we can't take any chances of anyone seeing any of our players,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, but my thought, I could be wrong about this. If they want to see these players, they're going to see them,
sure,
whether we have an A-Day game or not. So I feel like it's kind of an overreaction a little bit.
Yeah, I get that. I do think there's something to the way your team's not finished in spring. Like you may be coaching some guys and you lose 10 or 12 of them, in a couple of weeks when they go into the portal. So there is something to the fact that, hey, if we move it to OTAs in June, you'll have your team. Like that'll be the whole team. And then these guys can just rehab and work out all spring. So there's something to that, but man, something about that game kind of getting that dress rehearsal of game day, getting a little taste of it.
100%. And that's what it's for. It's for the fans to get excitement because, I mean, honestly, right now there's with football, which, us on the board, we're excited because we love any football news. It doesn't really matter. But,
exactly,
the casual fan, I think it was big for them to get excited, say, oh, this is our new team. These are the new players. I can't wait for fall. And now I feel like it's kind of going to, put a lull in the
Got to figure out something to do for the fans, though.
100%.
They got to figure out some festival or something, or some kind of fun fan day activities. Got to do something. I think Ole Miss does something pretty cool. Somebody texted me about it. I haven't really looked it up, but maybe model something out of after what they're doing. Man, Jared, what a show. What an awesome Friendship Friday. Really appreciate you jumping in. Last thing before we get out,
Yep.
I got to get your football record prediction for 2020. We're going to put you on the spot for 2025. Football record prediction. Let's go.
Honestly, I'm going to be upset with anything under 9 wins.
9-3.
I really am. Yep.
I'm seeing so much. I'm seeing so many. Brandon Marcello, I think, just put out, he expects Auburn to be 9-3.
Yep.
Hey, 9-3 got in. A couple of teams got in the playoffs at 9-3. So the thing about 9-3 is more than likely you're at least in the conversation for the playoffs.
Exactly.
And I think that's where Auburn needs to be.
Right. I don't expect us to be in the playoffs. I don't expect us to make a run in the playoffs. I mean, as long as we show improvement and we're at least in the discussion, hey, we made some strides, because
bingo,
these last 4 years have been
rough.
Probably the worst stretch years of my football life, pretty much.
Oh, for sure, man. I totally get it. Well, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for guys. Thank you for listening. If you want to be a member of the Barn, you need to just go to thebarnauburn.com. You can sign up, and then you can jump in like Jared and kill it on a Friendship Friday and have a lot of fun talking about Auburn sports. Before we leave, don't forget mybookie.ag. Use that coupon code BARN to get that 50% deposit bonus. And then if you need a real estate agent, hit me up. KRush at thekeyagency.realestate. And then we will be back again soon. Hopefully we win tonight, and we got some fun stuff to talk about moving forward. Go get a little Elite Eight action, and then just celebrate all week next week.
That's right.
It'll be a lot of fun. So, guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back again soon. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.